Hello, I am Yogendra Singh Thakur from Sagar Institute of Research and Technology Excellence, Bhopal. I want to present slide share to you. Uh, my topic is very good for present time, and I think that it is very useful for new students, and I think that it is very important topics for the Indian economic scenario. Um, Balance of trade. This is my today's topic. It plays a very important role at this era. Balance of trade, the difference in the value over a period of time between a country's import and the export of goods and services, usually expresses in the units of the currency of the particular country or the economic unions. For example, we can see dollars for the United States of America, pound sterling for the United Kingdoms, or the euros for the European Union. We can understand this concept by the formula. The formula for the calculating of the trade balance is as follows. Balance of trade equals to, we can understand, value of export minus value of import. Value of export is the value of the goods and the services that are sold to buyers in the other countries. Next things we can understand, value of the import is the value of the goods and the services that are brought from sellers in the other countries. Students connecting activities, we can understand by this. We can get many examples. For example, you can buy and sell many things in our family, and we can give and take many rupees to the relationships in the functions, etc. There are so many examples may be possible here. We can say the balance of trade for the economy to the micro conceptions of the many. A positive or the negative trade balance does not necessarily indicates a healthy or the weak economy. This is most important concepts. Balance of trade is not an indicator of the healthy or the weak economy. We will understand next graph by this concept. This is very important concepts, because when we set a trend, these concepts play a very important role. Whether a positive or the negative balance of trade is beneficial for an economy depends on the countries involved. The trade policy discussions, the durations of the positive or the negative balance of trade, and the size of the trade imbalance, among other things. In short, we can say the balance of trade figure alone does not provide much of an indications regarding how well an economy is doing. Economics generally agreed that the neither trade surplus or the trade deficits are inherently bad or good for the economy. A positive balance occurs when the export greater than imports and is refers to as the trade surplus. This is most important concepts we will understand in the next slides by the graph. A negative trade balance occurs when the export less than import, refers to as a trade deficits. I repeat, a positive balance occurs when export greater than import, and a negative trade balance occurs when export is smaller than import. This is most important concept of balance of trade. The balance of trade between the United States and the China play a very great important role, and this is a most important discussion between the economists, between the policymakers, and between the many wisdoms people. The United States of America, United States trade deficits with China remains a highly debated topics among the policymakers in the academics, because the US trade deficits has continued to rise over the years, increasing to a 5 months high in July 2018. To many, the issue many seems the problematic. However, there being no strong evidence that a negative import in the export balance is hurting the economy of the United States. This is most important concept, how the United States is not affecting this. But we see in the figure, this is a very, I think that the great concept may be possible here. In fact, the United States of America has been experiencing one longest expansions in the history. US balance of trade deficits we can understand on the data of 2014. This is most important. The balance of trade of US with China, approximately 47.2% deficits with the China and the America. Germany with 30.2% and Japan with 9.2%. I think this is most important data we can understand how the balance of trade is not affecting to the US economy. And if affecting to the US economy, this is most important how it is not affecting it and how it is affecting, the result is not coming. This is most important concept and how we can understand deeply. I think that is very amazing. US-China trade, whenever we talk about in 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 12, 13, 14, and 20. So first one, we can say that the Chinese goods export to US in 2006, that was $288 billion. And 2008, whenever we talk about the 338 US billion dollars and 365 US billion dollars. And in last, we can say that in 2016, $423 billion. This is Chinese goods export to US. In other hand, we can say that US goods export to China, that was very minimum. I think that in the comparison of 2006, it was 288. In the comparison of 2006 to the US, it was 54 only. So this makes the 288 one hand in China, and in the other hand, US, it was only 54. So there was a great trade deficit. But how the US economy doesn't affect by this trade deficits? This is a most important concept, and how it is work. This is a most debating subjects in the economics and the policymakers. And I think that many countries are affected by this, but US economies is not affected by this. This is very surprising. Next, we can say that India trade with China. This is most important concepts. We can say that in 2010-11, Chinese trade, this was $43.5 billion, and it was the US was $14.2. The trade deficit was 29.3%. I think that it was very amazing. And in we can say that 2012-13, it was the Chinese trade balance was 55.3 and the US trade balance was 13.5. I think that there was a 38.7 trade deficits, 37.8 billion trade deficits. But US economy doesn't affected by this. The result should be very negative, but there is no any result is negative for the US economy. It is great and the amazing fact for the economics, for the students, for the academics, and for the learners. And I think that it's a great thing. I think that we can understand many case study about this in the class. Whenever you will study, you can understand last 20 years of export and import between India and China. It was, I think that great fact may be possible here. You can understand very amazing fact by this case study. Next case study, you can understand by last 20 years of export and import between India and USA was given to the students. And it is very surprisingly, in 1947, whenever we talk about the India's trade in the US trade balance was very positive. But this is very, I think that a negative result at present time. If we are our trade balance with US and the India is, I think that with a large or very great amount, I think that of the trade deficits. So India and US goes to trade deficits, trade balance, but US and China, by this trade deficit, they are not showing the negative effect in the America. So I think that it's a great study, or we can many trend we can set. So what trend we can set? First one, we can say that the countries having the most supportive trade balance showing the higher economic growth. This trend set may be possible for the maximum country. I want to repeat this. Countries having most supportive trade balance showing higher economical growth. This trend set may be possible by this study. But in context, we can say that America and China's, whenever we see the data, this trade set goes into the negative and this trade set goes into the positive. Next trend set by this study is a favorable balance of trade is better economic indicator. I repeat, a favorable balance of trade is better economic indicator. This is very good. I think that favorable trade balance also gives the good economic indicator. But I think that in the reference to the India, I think this trend set also work into the negative. This is very surprising fact. How is it surprising? This is surprising. India and US trade balance is negative, but our growth is positive. So this is very amazing, very surprising, and this trend set doesn't work properly in the all countries. This also work different countries into the different way. So I think that it's a great and surprising study. And whenever we want to understand the economic role of the economic, the role of the trade balance of the country, I think that this is very surprising to you. So thank you so much for today for being with us. Thank you.